Greetings, Karla. It's a true pleasure to be speaking with you. Where do I find you today?
So I am delighted to be here with you today. I'm in the recording studio here at the Otis Redding Center for Creative Arts, where we do engineering lessons and production lessons, and which is on the other side of the Otis Redding Foundation offices and the museum.
Did you ever imagine that your father's song Respect would be turned into a children's picture book?
Never in a million years. And we as a family have always tried to focus on how do we extend the legacy? How do we already have this fan base of 70, 80-year-old people, So how do we now start to reach this younger gamut of new fans who don't quite know who Otis Redding is, who might not recognize his face, but might know the music. And for it to come, for his legacy or his song to come to life on a picture, in a picture book, on a lyric picture, is just unbelievable. When we first learned of the opportunity, I just couldn't believe it was happening. I was like, it's so important because it ties right to what we do with the foundation. We target kids age 5 to 18, and this fits right in with what we do. And it's just so nice to be able to share it with our community, but also to share it around the world.
What does the song mean to you personally, and why do you think this song is so incredibly relevant 55 years after it was first released?
Well, to me, it means respect in 2020 should mean so much to so many people because it is one of the things that right now this world needs. Everyone needs to give respect. Everyone needs to be respected. Um, and from a female perspective, from a male perspective, from a social justice perspective, that one word can open up just doors for everyone. If they just took the time to understand what it means to get respect and to give respect. And once we do that, I think this world would be such a better place. It would be so much better. So, my dad's version, of course, is that male connotation of, just give me the respect when I get home. From Aretha's version, it's a woman of power and I can be respected just as much as a man can be respected. And that's something little girls today need to learn, but also little boys need to learn that you got to respect women and women have to respect you.
How many U.S. states have you lived in?
US states. I've only lived in one my whole life. Only one state, Georgia.
How much of your childhood was spent on a ranch?
All of my life was spent on the ranch. We moved to the ranch when I was probably 3. Um, and have lived there ever since. Even now as an adult, my father purchased 300 acres of land, which the home house is there, which my mother still lives in right now. My brother Dexter built a house there. And then I built a house there in, let's see, 19, probably about 89, 90, and have been there ever since. And we love being on the ranch. Before my father passed, it was filled with vegetables and tons of animals and fishing and swimming in a pool all the time, and really just the best childhood you could ask for. And luckily we are still able to enjoy, those things. We still fish and we don't necessarily hunt, but we have such a nice spread of acreage that we can just be in peace and in solitude as soon as we get off of work, because it is like heaven living where we live.
Did your father garden and did you garden? And if so, what were your favorite plants or vegetables to garden?
Well, my father did garden. I was too small to garden, but I did see the corn and geez, we had watermelon and cucumber and tomatoes and peas and I mean all of these just fresh vegetables. And actually, my grandfather, my dad's father, actually harvested the vegetables and sold them in town to different markets. So we had I know, I mean, back then, not even knowing what acreage was, but I know that there had to be 10 to 15 acres of just fresh vegetables, and not to mention the cows and the pigs and the chickens and the goats, and we had all of these things growing up. And for us, my brothers and I, we felt like it was just normal that everybody had these things. And it wasn't until we got older and really understood how lucky we were to grow up in that kind of an environment.
Before we talk about the Otis Redding Foundation, can you tell me a little bit about the college scholarships that your father used to give to young people?
Oh, yes. And I think, that's really the whole premise for the foundation. My father never got the opportunity to finish school. But one of the things that I know from hearing from conversations with my mom and my dad's brother and all of the people that were around him, he was really adamant about the importance of education. And really education on the side of music and the arts. And so he started, very, very early, which was only had 6 years of life to really even do the things that he wanted to do. But he started providing scholarships to students for continuing education. A young female received a college scholarship to go on to become a teacher. Of course, at Mercer University, there's the Otis Redding Law Scholarship now for minority students. And so then, my mom and I were like, why don't we take this a step further? And let's build some more programs around literacy, music and arts education, and really kind of pick up and do what your dad had already said he was going to do. He was going to have a summer camp at the ranch for kids. As a matter of fact, he had one and was planning another one before his untimely death, doing exactly the same things that we're doing. The summer camp that he had, there were radio personalities and industry professionals and singers and songwriters were all at the ranch that day to talk to the kids about the importance of staying in school and the importance of learning to read and write, and pair that with self-expression. And I think that's what they did that day when that busload of kids that I can remember came to the ranch, and I couldn't understand why they were there.
So, what is the focus of the foundation in 2020?
So the focus of the foundation in 2020 is really to understand that even in a distant world, which is what we are in right now, you can still learn and be involved with each other to create amazing things. We immediately, once the pandemic hit, began the conversations of not losing touch with our kids. We weren't going to disappoint them by not being able to sponsor the lessons and the programs that we have. We're going to take it into a virtual world. And, you know, we, it turned out this year for us has been the most creative and rewarding year ever, especially as it relates to interaction with the kids and the success stories that have come from the camp, the success story of the kids taking virtual lessons in guitar and piano and engineering, which is this room that we're in now. We picked up. We don't have to be joined at the hip all the time to enjoy each other. We just have to be able to see each other on a computer, and we've done some amazing things with that. Our mission is progress through education, enlightenment through music. So everything that we push, we learn, has a music tone to it. But we are really focused on self-expression, reading, writing, and knowing that you can do anything that you want to do in this world. Even the pandemic can't stop you right now.
What is your favorite lesser known Otis Redding song?
Love Man. That's my favorite song of all time because, being so young when I lost my dad, I clearly remember him, can remember the things that we did together. But there's a lyric in there that says, I'm 6 feet, one weight, 210, long hair, pretty fair skin. And that to me is my dad. He's a 6 feet, one weight love man because he loved everybody. And most importantly, he loved my mom and he loved us as a family. And, the love that he continues to get today from around the world. I mean, there is no country where we can't say that Otis Redding is not recognized because he's loved around the world and continues to be. And with this book, now we get to start getting the younger kids to love him as well.